All right, boys. I'm going to show you guys kind of a mini blueprint in a very informational, helpful video on how to lose weight and maintain muscle. Anybody asked for that? For example, this is me January, February of 2024. This is me June, July, or no, this was like August of 2025. And this is me now. Well, it's kind of blurry because I looked up Leland.Jw on the internet and just copy and pasted whatever was on the web. But this is what we look like now. We're not tan and shredded anymore, but we're at least bigger, right? So I'm pretty much just going to run through this. So this is just going to be a very short video. And I'm going to show you guys how to go from overweight and not liking yourself to a shredded sit cut, or even better individual because you're bigger and still lean. The weight difference: 194 in this first picture, 161 at like my peak shreds, maybe around 160, closer to like 163. And then now I'm about 175 morning weight. And I don't look much heavier. I look bigger, but I don't look like I have a lot more fat. But I was about 9.5%, 10% body fat in this, or around this time. And then right now I'm looking at around maybe 13.5, most, maybe 14, honestly. But like that would be at like my absolute peak. So this is what I was in terms of weight. And at this moment I was probably around 28% on body fat, and I just wanted to change. So let me tell you guys what I did and how you guys can do it. So one thing everybody needs to know when losing weight is you need to eat in a calorie deficit, okay? That was a horrible circle. A calorie deficit. Okay, if you don't know that, now you do. But if you don't know that, you definitely weren't ready for, losing weight. In what a calorie deficit is, it is a deficit from your current BMR plus your activity calorie burn. So at my height and my weight, my BMR is probably around 1850, maybe 1900. No, we'll just say my BMR is around 2000. We'll keep it very simple, right? You can also look up a TDE calculator or just a calculator that shows your base metabolic rate. Then you can either go to AI or you can do in that same calculator according to your activity. Remember, these aren't 100% accurate. They could be 200 calories shy or 200 calories over what you do. But the best way to find your calorie, we'll get back to this, the best way to find your caloric maintenance is to use these calculators as reference. So let's say it's telling me 2850 to maintain. So I'm going to eat at a 2750 no cardio to start. And if I ate this for a week and I gained weight, then it's obviously wrong and I need to eat lower. That's the best way that you can figure it out. But to find out your maintenance is, let's say I looked up in a calculator my base metabolic rate, or just if I was stagnant, my body burns 2000 calories a day. So if I ate 2000, I stay the same weight. Now, if I add in my activity, so I work out 6 days a week and I do cardio about 4 or 5 times a week, 15 minutes, and I also get around 8,000 steps daily. So let's say that puts me to around 3120 calories a day to stay the same weight. Now, it's not just about the calories, right? If you're trying to put on muscle and lose fat at the same exact rate, you do not want to just eat 3120 calories. Or under 3120 calories. You will lose weight, absolutely. But it's a matter of how much muscle you're going to gain or put on, in a sense of actually sticking to a calorie deficit. And let's use my number as example, 3150. Let's say 3150. I know this is 3120, but we're going to use my number as example, right? You're going to, and I'm hold on, I'm 175 pounds. If I'm wanting to lose weight, me personally, I'm going to start off at around 3K calories the first week. And this is to do a proper reversal. If I was coming out of a bulk, this is what I would do. And this is what I'm going to do. And maybe 10 minutes of cardio 2 times a week. Something like that. And then pretty much, like, I'm not going to get too deep into this, on a 12-week basis. But basically by week, let's say 3,000 calories, 10 minutes of cardio, and I'm, very, very quickly losing weight. So by, let's say, week 6, I am at around 167. Don't laugh. 167. Then I will be at around, maybe at the same activity, the same six days a week, same activity, except I will be doing more cardio at this point. You don't have to. The calorie deficit works itself. But for me, I'm trying to get super shredded, so this is pretty much what I'm going to do going into this upcoming summer. I will be eating about, probably around this time, week 6, I'll probably eating about 2650 calories with 20 minutes of cardio daily. And this is going to help me by slowly adding cardio over time and slowly decreasing your cardio while keeping your protein high and eating as much carbs as possible. And what I like to do is I like to lower the carbs just a little bit from what people would recommend and higher the fats, only for me, and higher the healthy fat intake just to keep my hormones balanced until I'm at that 10.5 or under percent body fat. You're doing about 2650 calories, 20 minutes of cardio a day at 167. You're not doing this the whole entire 12-14 weeks because your body is going to adapt. Your body is going to lower in weight. So if you kept on doing this, the lower weight you get, the lower your activity is going to get. So now by week 6, it's not 3150. It's 2900. So if you stuck to this, you would be gaining weight at 3000 calories. Well, minus the cardio. So that's my example. Now, and that's just the big first step of a calorie deficit. So obviously you go through a 1 to 12 week phase. You do 1 week, you do the second week, you do the third week, and then you check yourself and you go from, let's say you're 190, you go from 190 to 185. This doesn't mean you lost 5 pounds of fat, okay? You're probably heavy on water and you just lost water weight. So I like to go 3 weeks on the same plan as long as you know that you're in a calorie deficit. You're not gaining weight or you're not staying the same weight. That is crucial, especially reversing from a bulk because you're eating less carbs, you're holding less water, you're probably drinking more water, so you're probably holding less water. And then let's say by week 3, you're 184, that's fine. And then now you're slowly, every week, losing a pound or 2 pounds a week. At most 1.5 pounds a week, I'd say, is around where you should be at. Let's say by week 6, you're at 179. This is a good ratio. You're going to lose the most weight within the first or second week because you are losing water. Your glycogen is being depleted along with your water weight behind behind the fat. I mentioned this a little bit ago. High protein. So this is what I would recommend to people that are, in the gym and, they're really struggling. Let's say, we'll use my example again. I want to eat 3,000 calories. Correct? I will eat around, let's say I'm 180 at this point. I'm 180 pounds. I want to eat at least 180 grams of protein. It's satiating. It's a satiating macronutrient. There's this weird political scientific thing about don't eat over, 1.5x because it's just empty, not going anywhere. Honestly, do what's best for you. Everybody's body is different. But I would recommend if I'm 180 and I'm trying to lose weight, I'm eating probably around 190 to 200 grams, which is 4 calories per gram of protein. So you're looking at about 760 to 800 calories in just protein here. Quick maths. And this is 800, so you still have 2,200 calories in protein and fat, or in fat and carbs. So and this is just to start as, and what I recommend also is to never lower the protein. I don't think that's necessary. So if you're starting at 3,000 calories and let's say it's week 6 and you're at 2600, you're still going to be eating 190 grams of protein. But let's say, I'm just going to throw a random number out there. Let's say at 3000 calories, I'm eating about 310 net carbs, and 75 fat. This probably isn't the right math, but you don't have to correct me, because I know it's not the right math, but it might be close. Over time, this is the starting number, by the way. This is on 3000 calories. I will lower this over time. Let's say it's like 275 now, and this is 65. Like I said, it's probably not the right math, but you will keep your protein the same. Maybe if you get into a deeper deficit, you could stick, because especially your weight's going down, so your protein can go down. But I like to keep it the same. But over time, let's say you're by week 12 and you are not 180 anymore, you are 165, then yeah, you can bring your protein down to 175 and eat a little more carbs, so you have more energy. So that's just kind of a little rundown on what I'm gonna do and what you should do if you're trying to get into a caloric deficit. Now, let's talk about foods that you should eat in a caloric deficit. Foods you should eat. I made this fucking thing. Fuse, F-Y-S-E, sure. Foods you should eat. Obviously, fruits. Carb sources, okay? Potatoes. I'm not going to type all these. Potatoes, sweet potatoes, beef, awesome. Leaner beef, 96.4, or what is it, 96.4 or 93.7. Whole eggs. People are so scared of whole eggs. I don't know why. Eggs are so satiating, especially eggs and potatoes. That is the most satiating meal you can add. You can add some zero sugar condiments, which are like 10 or 15 calories. You can add Frank's Red Hot, which is 0 calories. It's a lot of sodium, but just drink water, you'll be fine. People also say sodium's bad. It's not. Just drink water. Just drink water. Okay, so if you want to be huge and awesome and shredded at the same time, eat these foods 90% of the time. Rice Krispies before the gym, snack cakes before the gym, family events, one dinner a month. If you're trying to stay really locked in, that's about the minimum I'd go. Have fun. Don't make it miserable for yourself. So we've broke down a couple things, and that is obviously a caloric deficit, right? You want to eat whole foods. You want to stay consistent, and you want to be put on a constant reduction of your calories over time as you lose weight. Just act like I fucking wrote that down. So that is the very most simple way to lose weight. Now, this is a very vague, kind of one of the better representations you can hear when it comes to losing weight. I know I didn't get really scientific in here, because when you get scientific, it gets more complicated. You don't need to overcomplicate losing weight. Okay, and I'm going to say this right now. You don't need to overcomplicate losing weight. Look up TDEE calculator, find your BMR, okay, and then add your activity into AI or the same website, and let's say it gives you 2,800. Start at that number, slightly decrease your calories, slightly increase your cardio over time. I do offer one-on-one coaching. I'm currently with 10 other guys, and they are all doing great. I'm so proud of these guys. Most of them losing weight, some of them going through lean bulking, and they're all doing good. And I guarantee results when it comes to one-on-one coaching. So if you guys are interested in the one-on-one coaching, you guys know my Instagram. You guys can DM me on TikTok, whichever one you're going to do. I also have a form in my link tree, which will be in my Instagram and my TikTok. You fill out that form. I'll hop on a phone with you. You don't have to commit. Just I'll talk to you on the phone, let you know what you guys are getting benefit-wise, and exactly why it is worth the price. So obviously, like I just said, if you guys are interested in the one-on-one coaching, I will help you guys through the whole entire thing, no matter what. But if not, I hope this fucking video helped you guys. This is just, like I said earlier, just a vague breakdown on how to lose weight, and I'm gonna keep coming with you guys with more informational content. These are my socials. You got my TikTok on top and my Instagram on the bottom. So if you guys are coming here only from YouTube, you guys can follow those. Once again, I hope this video is very good and informational for you guys, and I will keep these coming weekly. I'm getting on my grind on YouTube. I'm posting a vlog and or one of these a week, maybe even both. So, you know, calm little flex at the end. You know, the method for the webcam will be OP for indefinite time. So, you guys have a good one. Peace, y'all.